El Salvador is facing tens of millions of dollars in losses on crypto. Last year, it became the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. But the president also invested $100 million in Bitcoin before the price plunged. Rafael Romo has more on that and the wider economic concerns. Rafael, what are you seeing?
Hi, Allison. Well, since early November, when Bitcoin was at its peak, the cryptocurrency has gone down by a whopping 56%. This morning, it's worth less than $30,000 when it reached nearly $68,000 back then. For El Salvador, the problem is not only the purported loss of tens of millions of dollars, but also the fact that credit rating agencies have downgraded the country, which will make it difficult to get any loans for government projects.
It was flashy, loud, and colorful. The special effects rivaled those of a rock concert. That's how El Presidente made his grand entrance, greeting everybody in English. No old-fashioned suit or tie needed.
We demonstrated that Bitcoin could do a lot of good things.
Nayib Bukele, the 40-year-old millennial president of El Salvador, told the crowd he's making his Central American nation of 6.5 million a Bitcoin nation. That was back in November, when the market cap for cryptocurrency hit $3 trillion. Bukele started promoting Bitcoin during the summer.
This will generate jobs and help provide financial inclusion to thousands outside the formal economy.
And in September, El Salvador became the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender alongside the US dollar. 2 months later, the president announced plans to build a city where Bitcoin would reign supreme. But not everyone has jumped on the Bitcoin bandwagon.
It's supposed to be the currency right now, Bitcoin, but people are not using it. It's mostly, businesses, international businesses like Starbucks, like McDonald's that are accepting Bitcoin because, they don't want to be at default with the policies of the government.
And the government has gone all in, buying up more than 2,300 Bitcoins since September to the tune of more than $103 million. The problem is that in the same period, the cryptocurrency has lost more than 35% of its value, meaning the Salvadoran taxpayers are tens of millions of dollars in the red thanks to their president's investment strategy. The president's answer? Buy the dip, words he has posted multiple times on Twitter.
For an investor, for an individual investor, it may make sense, right, to say buy the dip. But the problem for a country, the risk is way bigger, and we don't know if this is the dip.
Georgia University business professor Julio Sevilla says the risk goes beyond losing money.
Their own bond market has also suffered a lot. It's up there with Ukraine on the riskier bonds perceived as countries, and Ukraine, it's in a war that they didn't induce. El Salvador is getting into this risk voluntarily.
On the one hand, El Salvador is making a risky investment. On the other, the small Central American country is counting on help from the International Monetary Fund to repay government bonds worth $800 million. The bonds are due in January, and this burden is in addition to other financial obligations. How big is the risk of default?
If the president keeps on buying as Bitcoin goes down, I think the risk of default may be larger because at some point the IMF is going to say, no, we cannot loan you money, you're not doing things the right way.
Sevilla says he still expects El Salvador to get financing, but if its president continues to double down on risky investments, he says default is a very real possibility, and Bukele's dream of making his country a Bitcoin nation could become a mirage.
And two credit rating agencies, Fitch and Moody's, have downgraded El Salvador so far this year in part because of the risk associated with Bitcoin purchases. And according to an analysis by Bloomberg, El Salvador's Bitcoin losses are roughly equal to its next bond payment of $38 million due in mid-June. Allison, back to you.
All right, Rafael Romo, thanks so much.